Hello, everybody. Today, I want to talk about this quote I see Nigerians writing that when Nigeria wakes up, Africa will become unstoppable. So, when is Nigeria going to wake up? Because I totally disagree with this quote that Nigerians like quoting and putting out there. That Nigeria will rise up and Africa will rise up. That Africa will only rise up when Nigeria rises up. I don't know where people get this quote, but I think it is just a myopic view to say this because when is Nigeria going to wake up? Nigeria doesn't even have enough electricity. Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, many countries have more electricity in their countries more than Nigeria. So when is Nigeria? Nigeria can't even fix its electric issue with all the resources they have. Nigeria has a lot of oil, Nigeria has a lot of natural resources, gold, and many natural resources, but they have failed. Listen again, they have failed to fix something small like electricity. Nigeria has failed to build hospitals that can take care of their presidents. For example, I remember their president Buhari. He was in London for nearly a month for treatment. The other president who died in Saudi Arabia for treatment. There's no way you can say Nigeria, Africa. There's no way you can say that Africa will rise up only when Nigeria rises up. Who tells you this? This nonsense needs to stop because Nigeria is not the thermometer. Nigeria is not the thermometer or the barometer to measure African success. That's not there. African success is measured by independent countries. There's no way you're going to tell me Nigeria is the thermometer because if you say that Africa will only rise up when Nigeria rises up, I don't know who brought this idea, but sometimes I think it's a colonialist in Europe who doesn't want to see Africa rise up who brought this nonsense that Nigeria will only rise up. No, sorry, that Africa will only rise up when Nigeria rises up. Those fallacies that are lied to Africans, that the Nigerians are the most successful immigrants. That's not also true. Actually, the most successful immigrants are Ethiopians, not Nigerians. I can prove this to you because you see, Ethiopians form villages when they move to America, like Little Ethiopia, just like the Chinese do, Little China, just like the Italians did when they moved to America. The Italians had small Italy town, the Germany town. The Germans also had all that Russian village. They had all those villages. Nigeria doesn't have that village, but today the only few countries in Africa that have that are Ethiopia, Somalia, Egypt, and to mention a few. Nigeria doesn't have that. Even if Nigeria the most populated African immigrants. Listen, Nigeria has the biggest population of African immigrants in America, but they don't even have a small Nigerian village. So for me, when people tell me this, that Nigeria is that Africa will only rise up when Nigeria rises up, this is a fallacy and a lie. This is actually is dragging Africa behind because Nigeria may never rise up. Survey shows Nigeria to get access to everybody. Listen again, for everyone in Nigeria to have access to electricity, it's going to take 100 years. Whereas in Kenya, it's going to take 20 years for everybody to have access to electricity. In Tanzania, it's going to take 20 years for everybody to have electricity. For everybody to have electricity in Tanzania and Kenya, it's going to take 20 years. Even in Ethiopia, 20 years. That's what the survey shows. Nigeria is going to take nearly 200 years. So why should we wait for Nigeria when countries like Kenya have better electricity abundance than you Nigerians? Yet you Nigerians have more resources, have more rivers, have more oil, everything that can produce electricity, but you can't produce electricity. Why do you think Africa should wait for Nigeria to become unstoppable? Why do you think Africa should wait for Nigeria to rise up so Africa can rise up? Yet you can't even provide your own electricity. Nigeria, listen again, it's going to take Nigeria nearly 100 years for everybody in Nigeria to have electricity. In Kenya, it's going to take 20 years, survey shows. In Tanzania, less than 20 years. Ethiopia, less than 20 years. Everybody's going to have electricity in those countries. Yet Nigeria won't. So there's no way Nigeria can be a thermometer, a barometer, or a measurement of Africa. Because this nonsense that you're the smartest, I don't know why you get it at. Go fix yourselves before you put this comment out. That is so we put this quote out that Africa will only rise up when Nigeria rises up. I'll appreciate if you leave a comment. This is not attacking Nigeria. It's letting Nigerians know that other countries are moving on. They're not waiting for Nigeria. Nobody's waiting for Nigeria. Kenya is not waiting for Nigeria. Ethiopia is not waiting for Nigeria. Tanzania is not waiting for Nigeria. Rwanda is not waiting for Nigeria. Burundi, Namibia, Uganda, they are all not waiting for Nigeria. They are moving on. So Nigeria, you have to catch up. Thank you guys and leave a comment.